Hello, Internet. Welcome to episode 20 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass. I want to take a moment before we get into the episode to be honest with all of you 28 subscribers. I thank you very much for watching. I have way too much respect for all of you not to be honest, and I don't really know how to say what I'm about to say, so I'm just going to try to be truthful and true to myself. I don't really know how to express this, but I have an addiction to smut, specifically 1970s erotic literature. So much so that way too much of my disposable income goes towards these novels. And last week was my 40th birthday, and I went on a splurge. Let's share some of the titles I bought with all of you. This one is Whoring Wives, Hard Up Husbands. Let's read the back cover just so you get a taste of what you can read in some of these novels. Spent from their orgasms, they lay still while they recovered. Finally, Charlie spoke. "What does your husband think about your good pay and long hours?" he asked. Sharon smiled. "He knows all about this," she confessed. Charlie was stunned. "He knows? Everything?" said Sharon. We're swingers. He makes it with other women, and I make it with other men, and we tell each other all about our experiences. That's one novel I got. Another one I bought was The Salesman's Wife. That's a fun one. And then I also bought Nude Ranch. The Degraded Tennis Star. You might recognize this one from a previous episode if you're a true fan. Kim's Black Pimp. And maybe my favorite one so far, Angel Face Little Virgin. I do not want to disclose how much I spent on all of these, but it would be shocking if you knew how much. And I do kind of feel a little torn inside, cutting off the covers and putting them on my backdrop. Because these are collector's items, so I am ruining them. So there is this like internal struggle. Should I do it? Should I not? But I love sharing them with the audience, and I really do believe that more people will get to know about erotic literature through verbal graffiti than keeping the books in my closet where no one will ever see them. Yeah, I spent way too much money on erotic literature, baseball cards. I also bought a Bernie Williams jersey for my birthday, and then I also did vitamins. If I go to CVS and I go to the vitamin aisle, I'm $75 worth of vitamins. I take 5,000 IU of vitamin D every day. I think I've mentioned this in another episode previously. Vitamins, they're my weak spot. I think that, I could eat donuts and bread as long as I take $75 worth of vitamins each day, that it will even out and I'll be able to live to 75. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm trying to be healthy. You gotta like me for that. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. So episode 20, we're going to do something a little bit different this episode. Hence why we got different lighting, blue instead of magenta. I used to run a blog, a satirical blog called aftertimeexpires.com. You could go check it out. If you like my content here, you'll probably love some of my written content. I wrote a blog 6 out of 7 days every week for 3 years. I think I got a total of 100,000 views, which averages out to about maybe 75 to 100 a day. And most of those people weren't coming to the blog. It's just they would type something into Google, and then somehow I would show up in the algorithm. I had to stop doing it because I have pain in my hands and throughout my body. But fuck that. Who cares about me? But I had this gimmick blog I would do called Porn Comments, where I would go through Pornhub, read all the comments, find funny ones, then I would comment about the comment. And that was a blog post I would do every other Friday. It started off as every Friday, but then I was just looking at way too many comments and had to pull it back a little bit. And I loved it. I don't know how it's going to work on video, so we're going to bring it back maybe once every 20 or 30 episodes. We'll do it. So I'm going to put a comment up, and then I'll comment on the comment. Very meta. Is that? I don't really know what the word meta means, but I like using it a lot. So yeah, this is a meta episode 20 porn comments. Let's get to the first one. Maybe I'll just put the whole comment and then I'll come back on screen. I don't know. We're playing around. This is Verbal Graffiti. It's a trial and error, mostly error. First comment I found on Pornhub. Holy shit, that's my sister. I have 3 sisters, so this one hit home. I don't believe any of my sisters have done porn, at least not on the internet. So thank you for that. Thank you to having good parents. A comment like this does make me think that maybe the right thing is to be an incel and exclude all women from your life. Because the fewer women you have in your life, the less chances of finding a woman you know and are closely related to or have an intimate relationship on the internet doing smut. So I think that's my solution. If you're worried about a lady in your life being on Pornhub or OnlyFans, just cut out all the women, become a manosphere guy, just push the women to the side and only have guy friends. Comment number 2 that I found on, hold on, can I open that up? Hold on, sorry. Sorry about that. Comment number 2. I love videos when a man is desperate to come and worry about pregnancy and she makes him come inside. It's never happened to me. I hope one day I live this awesome worry. After coming thinking, OMG, I could impregnate you. Well, commenter, the fact that you're commenting on Pornhub makes me believe you'll never have to worry about a lady wrapping her legs around you and trapping you into getting her pregnant. Those two things are like oil and water. Like a girl trying to get you pregnant and then porn commenters. Generally, those two don't go inside each other. I don't know if I can do this on YouTube, so maybe I'll blur that out. But this does make me think of, have you guys watched Fresh and Fit? I don't watch them, but they're kind of how would I describe them? They're a red pill pro-man podcast. And they basically, it's kind of those videos where they have like the guys and then they get 10 girls drunk and make them look like they're idiots. It's kind of, I heard somebody describe it as a modern day Jerry Springer, and that's exactly what it is. But one of those two allegedly has gotten a Chinese escort pregnant. Like, he was a total simp. He was just busting loads inside of this escort. Like, he knew she was an escort, and he brought her. I think it's the uglier looking guy on the show, but he brought the escort to meet his family in Barbados or the Bahamas or wherever he lives, and he was buying her expensive bracelets. And now everyone on the internet is shitting on him because they tell their audience, hey, don't be a simp. Don't buy girls anything. Girls are shit. And now he went and knocked up one of these sex workers. So yeah, definitely do not fantasize about getting a baby you barely know pregnant. Thankfully, I don't have a lot of sex, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's move on to the next comment. Comment number 3 by Peter Griffin. 550 entry, 11 pi. Not all heroes wear capes. This guy is the guy who doesn't have enough time to like unzip his pants, light a candle, fluff himself up before really getting to business. This commenter right here, he's the one who's like, hey man, you don't have time for foreplay. Here's the business. And he gives you the specific time and the specific time stamps to get busy too. And listen, anyone who's ever worked business knows you need data entry. It's not a sexy job. It's not a high paying job. I know because I kind of do somewhat of a similar job to that. But that is needed for a successful operation. And if we ever do get into World War III, which is looking like the lizard people want us to get into World War III, so we might be in one by the 2024 election. And we're going to need people like this commenter to track the movements of opposing militaries. So this commenter could be the guy who saves the Union. So, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, what was this guy's name? Peter Griffin. Yeah. Make a painting about him and put it right next to George Washington in the Natural History Museum, one of those history museums. Next comment number 4 by Flyer Fan Me. In all these newer videos, the loser guys never show their faces. They shouldn't get paid. Execs, get on this. Preaching to the choir here. There's nothing that, there's a lot that bothers me, but one of the things that infuriates me is when I see a video on Pornhub or any other smut site where the faces of the actors are not in the video, and then underneath, I see it has 5 million views. Nothing makes me more disappointed in my fellow American. Like, come on. If there's no faces and then 5 million Americans are able to get their nut to that, that's not on the executives. That's on us. If we're getting our nuts, the faceless Scarlets, the execs are going to keep giving us those videos. So let's be better, America. Be better. Do not click on those videos without showing the faces. Faces only. OnlyFans, faces only. Yeah, I don't know. That became a trend maybe 2.5 years ago. And there's more and more of this body, no face. And B-Man, I need to see facial expressions because if the babe looks like she's coked out, I can't, she needs to be engaged in the scene for me to enjoy getting myself off to. Am I the only one? Am I the only one? I can't be the only one, but 5 million people are not these ones. It really makes me fret what the future is going to look like for online smut. Comment number 5 by Stern 5150. Every 24 hours, you have to drain your balls or it backs up into your brain. I've been paralyzed from the waist down for 31 years. No wonder why I'm going crazy. Bunch of emojis. I'm just thankful you're able to have mobility from the waist up so that you're able to comment on Pornhub. With that said, I just want the full disclosure. I have not nutted in the last 48 hours. So any medical advice I give here during this episode, I don't take as medical advice. Please contact your primary porn commenter for medical advice. Okay, that was 5 comments. Let's go. I don't know if I have a segment or not, but let's take a little break and we'll come back with 5 more. I'll see you in a bit. I am such a yo-yo. I swear to you, I thought I forgot to press the record button on my audio once again. It took me nearly 20 minutes right now to figure out that it was just a mute button on my MacBook is why I couldn't hear the playback. Such a dum-dum, such a lollipop. All right, head back in the game, back to our porn comments. Everything is on, so no fear, straight ahead. This is a porn comment I found number 6 by Bobman1960. Bro, I was more interested in the movie than the sex. By the way, how did it get turned on watching The Mask? I see this as a warning for any future smut creator. Be very cognizant of anything playing in the background so that it's not distracting to us viewers. Something like, I don't know, Jim Carrey dressed in green face. I can't tell you how many times I've been watching like a porn scene and then the TV or the game console in the background will be on. And if it's sports, I'll be watching, like, okay, well, that's a Lakers, Spurs. It looks like it might be a playoff game. And then I end up watching or looking up stats online instead of watching the smut. Way too many more times than I want to admit. So let's move on to another comment. Comment number 7. This one comes to us by Mr. Weller 1. You are doing great. Has a role play plot element, and I like the subtitles. Don't have to go too extreme with anal and rimming if you do a good story. I can say the same thing about modern wrestling. The flips and the jumping over the top ropes and the theatrics are great, but you don't need to do that if you're telling a great story. Case in point, WrestleMania 40. We had Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock, the final boss. They were just doing regular punches, kicks, nothing too dangerous off the ropes because they told a story. So the audience, we were invested in them. They didn't need anything else. They told the story beforehand, and they had us in the palm of their hand. I'm kind of upset that Roman Reigns didn't win. I want to see more of the final boss. Porn and wrestling. That's why I'm single. Next comment comes from Direwolf69. No cum equals no upvote. You know the rules. We have the same rules here at Verbal Graffiti. If you don't jizz while watching an episode of Verbal Graffiti, don't you dare smashing the like button. Maybe that's why we only have 28 subscribers. By the way, if any of your sisters do Pornhub, we would like you to share this video with them so maybe they can come on and be our first guest here. Next comment comes from Hatchet Harry. Oh, she's hot as fuck. Great tits, great ass, great smile. Knows how to swallow a cock. Damn. I want to let you know that the commenter here is referring to a Haley Rose video. I'll put a picture of her here. Haley Rose is what we in the smut industry refer to as a 5-tool fucker. Similar, your baseball nerds may recognize this as like a 5-tool player, just this is for smut. I compare Haley Rose to Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson could play multiple sports, every position, was super athletic. Same thing with Haley Rose. She's going to be a superstar. I do worry about her future though, and how many years she can last in porn due to her body proportions, which are very, very curvy. I just hope that I pray that her hip doesn't pop out while jumping on a BBC. You can only hope, right? Our last comment for this episode comes to us by Mr. Maggio. The dirtiest part was the guy in the bicycle helmet. But to be honest, I've never encountered that before, someone wearing a bike helmet. I will say, though, that like nobody uses condoms. You use them maybe once, twice, and then after that, you leave the condoms on the bedside table. I don't know. This makes me think, like, if I was with a babe and she put on a bike helmet before we had sex, I don't know how I would react. I think I would tell her, like, listen, babe, I'm here to make love and sneak out of your apartment after you fall asleep. I'm not here to engage in extreme sports. So take the helmet off and let's have boring missionary sex. That's how I roll. Till next episode, go suck a fat one.